right here on our FM.
Disclaimer, this is not financial advice.
Nau mai e te tī, nau mai e te tā, nau mai hoki mai ki tō tātou reo irirangi o Whanganui Awa FM. It is now 7 minutes past 8 on your Monday morning, the 27th of July, and you know what time it is, Ete iwi. It is Money Mondays with Uncle Rich. Morena, Uncle, how are ya?
Morena, very good, thank you.
Ready to rock and roll into our episode 7.
Wow.
Episode 7, Uncle. Now, what do we have in store for us today?
Yeah, so it's not the most exciting topic this morning, but one of those, I always say, the necessary evil that we have, which is insurance.
Yeah.
Which is insurance. So, yep, that's our kaupapa for today.
Ka pai. Now, e te wānau, let's be honest. When was the last time you actually read your insurance policy? For me, Uncle, just 5 minutes ago. Just 5 minutes ago. And I thought, okay, let me sort out my own kōrero. What am I up to? What do I have? And just off the top, I have 2 insurances currently. One is Life Plus, nice, which sits with my bank, the Bank of Cooperative Life Limited. And then I have car insurance.
Yep.
Which is also with the bank, and IAG. Now, I don't know who IAG is.
Yep.
Probably something that I should be reading into. I've had my life insurance for about 7 years now, since 2019. I know what I'm paying.
Yep.
I don't know what exactly I'm paying for, but yeah, it's coming out of my bank fortnightly. And then for my car, I've had it since 2022, 4 years now. The renewal dates are coming up very shortly.
Perfect.
So I'm also here to learn a little something for myself.
You've just triggered something I wanted to talk about later.
Nice.
Life insurance. Why do you have life insurance?
I don't. Oh, well, it was learned behaviour, right? Mum and Dad had life insurance, and then I thought, okay, well, I need to get insurance too. I'm not too sure why life insurance, and we've had discussions before over the previous episodes. So yeah, just learned behaviour. Mum and Dad had it, so I thought, okay, well, I need it too. Have I been living much life? Absolutely. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
We'll have that conversation because as you know, I talk to a lot of people and it's an interesting one to ask them. It's like, what are you covering? Yeah. Like, what are you pay? What are you having that money to pay for? Is the better question. Yeah. So, like how I look at insurance is it's around insuring the big stuff, genuinely the big stuff you can't afford to replace. Yeah. So, don't get the insurance on that TV or that sort of stuff that you can replace that. I'm talking your life, your income, that sort of stuff. So your house, your car. But yeah, it's really interesting to hear that. So I'm looking forward to having a bit of a chat. So you can have a think about that as I get to that story. So I split the insurance into two wahanga, right? So there's insuring you. We're talking life, income protection, trauma, that. And then insuring your stuff. So just, remember people, again, I always say this is general advice because one thing about insurance, it is very specific to your individual situation and to you, it's into your health, it's into your age, your everything, where you live, so what car you have, so just very specific. So yeah, that's the kaupapa for tēnei rā.
Rawe. We're going to get into the personal protection straight away. This is the part people avoid because it feels kind of heavy, but it's really about protecting the people and the lifestyle you care about, right?
Yeah, and that's right. And it is personal cover. So I'm talking life insurance, health insurance, income protection, trauma, disability, right? So personal cover, like life insurance, it sounds really simple. It's simple. It's like, this is what happens if you die. That's the reality of this. And I think people put this in place with all the right intentions, and that's great. And it's really just about working out your situation and what are you covering. That's what I was saying to you before about, like, what are you covering when you do this? Like, we know everything's expensive now, funeral costs, all those sort of things, trying to leave something for the wānau, trying to pay the mortgage off. Like, there's so much to take into account, hence why it's a really specific thing to get looked at for yourself. So, life insurance is one of those ones. I'll do our little scenario here because I work with a lot of first home buyers, right? And we cover home in the other one, but it's like people who have life insurance, and they may have just bought their first home as the example. but they don't have income protection. The risk is not if you die. The risk is if you live. And who pays that? And who pays that mortgage now that you have that? So just those are the reasons why, again, talk to your broker, talk to your insurance person, because it can actually shift you to go, actually, I might need life right now. I might need income. So it's life insurance, there's health insurance. Sadly, health insurance is about jumping the queue. You know, it's and we know today it's pretty tricky to get some support, but hey, mihi to our people working in those hospitals, they're doing a great job. It's just some of the things ain't there in the support systems. So I think that health insurance, it's a nice to have if you can afford it for those, but just be very specific again around what you're getting covered and understanding your policies, because there's things like it'll cover different medications, some medications that aren't covered by Pharmac here in New Zealand and so forth. So just be aware that, there is a whole lot of different scenarios with that one, with health insurance, and tons of providers. So again, talk to a broker, talk to your insurance person. Income protection, I messaged just quickly before, but it's a sort of a 1A. It's like if you have an accident, there's ACC. So that's good. But getting sick is not an accident. So having to thinking about these things to make sure we've got that cover in place. And again, what is that? What do you need to cover? Again, we've worked through the pots, we'll have our savings, we'll have our emergency funds. We'll have all these sort of things lined up to help us get to these places. So just be aware there is things that out there, because again, it's like who covers your mortgage, who covers your bills if you can't work. Those are the real scenarios that insurance is there for, and that's why I call it the necessary evil, because it's worst case scenario stuff, right? Hey, it's worst case scenario stuff. And trauma and disability, and look, these are different again because they're talking around the actual cause, So, it could be whether you can work or not. If you've diagnosed with something that's really bad and you've got cover for it, well, then there's putia there to help you out and help you get through those things. So, and I just wanted to add a point, because I know a lot of us out there are self-employed. Be aware that you don't have sick leave. You don't have sick leave. If I had this when I played rugby, and I work with a lot of tradies and stuff and that, and rugby, and then they ended up having to, some just wouldn't play because if they got injured, yes, there's a little, who's going to look after them? Who's paying the bill? There's no sick leave. There's no thing. So this is where our self-employed people actually really have to have a really good look, because they, it is all on, is on them, yes, they do pay ACC levies, but again, if they get sick, just making sure, checking your protection and making sure all that's there. So, ka pai?
Nah, that's definitely something to think about, and because when you ask the question, what am I covering? I couldn't. I'm like, well, my life, and that's it. Put it in place, and I can think. I was only 24 years old, and I was thinking about, okay, what's my whānau going to get after I've gone, but not about whether or not I need cover right now. The income. Definitely something to think about. And now that I've got my renewal dates coming up very shortly, I think there's going to be a change. So, mo te hunga e mātaketaki ana runga mai I te wārangi pukamata, morena ngā mihi o te ata kia koutou. Thank you for tuning in. The pātai is, when was the last time you actually checked what you had, your policies, or whether or not you're insured? Drop a comment and then we can have a discussion with you there. If you have any pātai for Uncle Rich while we have him in regards to insurance, then whiua mai. Ka pai whiua mai. Now we're getting into the next part of our section, Uncle.
The stuff, your stuff.
We're getting into the stuff. My stuff. Okay, what do you got for us?
So, we're talking here, your house, if you're lucky enough to own a home, contents, the stuff in that house and around, and then car. Those are the sort of basic stuff that we'll cover into here. So, I think house insurance is one of those ones that For me, I've noticed it's gone nuts. Like it has gone crazy over the last few years. We've had a lot of extreme weather events, and they've really pushed up the thing. So just be aware this is one that you can really test. Because there's a lot of things out there and a lot of different providers offering different things to cover certain, the same but different, right? And the big thing that I've noticed is it's the replacement cost.
Yeah.
So if something did happen to your house, if you haven't checked your policy over a while, building costs are going crazy.
Yeah.
So the cost to replace your house now is actually it's big.
Yeah.
It's big money. I've done this recently because of our renewal as well that came through, and there's heaps of helpful calculators online. Cordell's just one, just have a look at that, and you can edit in everything of your house. But it talks about things like, example, house burns down.
Yeah.
Terrible, it's bad enough, right?
Yeah.
But your insurance is, if it's not built in and covered, the demolition. So the removal, just the tidy up alone. So there's things, there's other things to take into consideration there. So the build cost can be really different to what you think the value of the house is, because you're starting fresh.
Yeah.
So by going through this process and adding everything in there, that gives you that gap. And it's actually a really interesting process because you can go through in fences.
Yeah.
People don't. You might have a retaining wall. You might have just things that you'd go, it's just my house. That's normal until you have to replace it and look at what is actually there. It's just those considerations that, like, God, if you're lucky enough to have a pool or a big sheet, those again are there's a massive cost to replace these days. So just be aware. Contents is a real interesting one.
Yeah.
If you actually walk around your wari and have a look and start adding up stuff, it adds up really quick. It adds up really, really quickly. So you just look at your lounge suite, your TV, what's it sitting on, what's around that room. It adds up really quickly. So and then beds alone, all your it just keeps going and keeps going. So be very conscious of what you have, and again, just checking the cover, making sure the cover's relevant to what it is, and because you might have overshot too. That's the other side to all of this. You might have overinsured, not just underinsured. Car insurance, oh man, this is the one I see today. Like, I don't know about you, but I always look at houses and cars, and just the cost of them today is crazy. So my message here is at least have third party if you don't, because if you crash into, like, a new car now is 70-80 grand, right? That's a standard one. That. So if you crash into that car, that's on you. You don't have insurance. If you have third party, at least their car gets fixed, right? And you worry about yours another time. But car insurance is this, and there's different scenarios too when you get insured. There's agreed value. So you literally have a court order saying my car's worth 30 grand. 30 grand. If you don't have that, if you say market, your car, by the time you needed to claim, it could have depreciated way down, and that's not going to replace your car with what you've got. So again, just being aware, checking your cover, making sure it's fit for purpose for what you're doing at this time. Third party is a minimum. You crash into a Merc in the countdown, car park. It's all over. That's big money to get that stuff fixed these days. So, those are our wahanga.
So now we've insured us. Now we're insuring your stuff at iwi. And this is probably where most of our listeners are going, sweet, I've got a house insurance and contents and car insurance, but the real question is whether the numbers are still right.
That's right. Yeah. And even thinking for our wano that have rental, you can still get contents. Yeah. So there is stuff there that could be there for you. You can still get contents insurance, so make sure that stuff is covered. For those terrible incidents. Yeah.
Well, see. Car insurance, there's been a few incidents. I've got a little Suzuki Swift that's done me well for the last, I would say, maybe 6-7 years now,
Nice.
Reliable, fuel efficient, all of that. Now, it's had a few dings and dongs here and there, Uncle. Not the bestest of drivers, but I am safe when we need to be, majority of the time, in Tiwano. And the process in regards to claiming your insurance, the excess, what I do like about my car insurance at the moment is that I get 24/7 roadside rescue.
Nice.
Free. Kaore here too. So if my waka needs to be picked up and taken to the shop, it does that. If it needs to be restarted because I don't got a pack, it does that.
Yeah.
But it's the ringing up. It's the claiming insurance. It's the sorting out what the excess is. It's hoa.
Oh,
It's a pain.
mate, my latest story, my latest one with one of our rentals, it has like an awning on the front of it, and during one of the big storm events that came through, the wind just got under it and it ripped off just half of it, off half the awning. And I was like, oh no, and getting called by a property manager. I said, yeah, Kapai, make it safe, get someone around there, make it safe, and then I'll ring the insurance. Ring the insurance, go through the whole process.
Yeah.
Oh no, the board right in behind it had early signs of rot.
Oh, wow.
So it was that ripped it off. It wasn't the wind. And I'm like, so the wind that has been blowing that house has been there for years, and all of a sudden it falls off, but it's my fault because of the wind. So anyway, I didn't get cover, like it wouldn't do it. So that's, and you're talking about process.
Yeah.
Well, that was it. It took months, literally took them to get a person, an assessor, because there was a ton of damage around that at that time. And by the time they got there, they said no. And I was just like, I knew you fellas would get out of it.
Yeah, I knew. And I think another important thing, Itiwano, read the fine print.
Hard. Yeah.
Read the fine print. So let's make this, we're moving into our next wahanga, Uncle, common mistakes. So let's make this a no shame checklist. Because insurance is one of those things almost everyone means to review, and then life gets busy.
Yes.
So now that we've had this only because we've had this conversation, Uncle, I'm now aware of my renewal date and what I need to do. Third party cover, check that in my insurance. I've got standard car insurance, and the benefits I like, roadside assistance. My premium, $41.65. Don't know what that gets me.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Don't know what that gets me. Your Life Plus, we've got to renew that whole thing.
We'll look at that.
Life cover, no trauma cover. This I'm 24 years old. I don't know what trauma.
Exactly.
I just want to te aki mai wānau. And $4.51. I think I was like, oh, geez, you didn't think much about your life back then. But here we are. Let's get into common mistakes.
Yeah. So and they're not actually mistakes. It's like you say that, some are, but you get busy, and what happens? You set and forget.
Yeah.
So your policy, excuse me, could be out of date.
Yeah.
You haven't looked at it. It rolls around. They send you another email. You go, yes, move on. And you just and that's what. And sadly, that's what we do. Yeah. You're like, it's undercover. That's great. So think about the things. If you've done any renos, you've obviously, you might have got a new job, payroll, stuff changes. You've got a bigger mortgage, whatever that is. Check the policy. Yeah. That's the one. It's not set and forget. This is not a set and forget scenario. Okay. So another one is guessing how much to insure your car, your house, or guessing how much there's online calculators, there's people that can help you with this, there's estimators and so forth to make sure that you're getting the right cover for the right stuff you have, or the stuff you have. Number 3 is cancelling instead of adjusting. So what happens? Life insurance is a prime example. It gets expensive, and as for me, getting older, you see it, and every year mine is going up. Okay, so the premiums feel too much. It's like, oh, what is going on here? So what do? You end up dropping it. Yeah, and you know what will happen is that's when you'll need it, right? So talk to an advisor, talk to your insurer. You could be overinsured. Yeah. Okay, so just have a look at all the different scenarios. The scenario thinking about what I was saying, it mightn't be life cover now. It might be a little bit of income, or it might be a little bit of both. So just have a talk to adjust it. And number 4, this is a big one because we're inherent lazy. We won't shop around. No. We won't go around. We won't have a look. We won't go through things. We might chuck it into Google or have a look at an online one. But You got to do more than that with insurance because
Yeah.
it's really about you. It's about your individual situation. So when you see things, oh, you can get this much cover for this, you got to ring and make sure that that is the cover. But shop around. Insurance is going up. Sadly, it doesn't feel like it's going down. You can see what's happening around the world and around with the weather systems and stuff. So, check into that stuff, okay?
There you have it, Iwi. That's the no shame checklist. Set and forget. Guessing instead of checking, cancelling instead of adjusting, and not shopping around. And I'm a big one for that, not shopping around. So, like I said earlier, learned behaviour. Mum and Dad got life insurance. They got all the insurances, house and contents. And then I just followed suit. Yeah. And I haven't shopped around. I went straight to my bank because it's a one-stop shop. Yeah. But I'm also feeling like I'm putting all my eggs in one basket. So there's a lot of learning here, Etiwano. And we're just going to take a quick break before we come back, and we're getting into our tip of the day and our action. Mo tōne mai, we've got Mr. Sun, Sammy J.
Awa FM.
Ka pai, no mai hoki mai, that is Mr. Sun, Sammy J, for your Monday morning, just to give us a bit of a break on your Money Monday. We are back. And it's been awesome kōrero about insurance, Uncle. We've talked about insuring you and then insuring your stuff. Yep. Then we got into a no-shame checklist and insuring one, Etiwano, probably the biggest thing that we've been talking about too, and it's been consistent throughout all the episodes, is shop around. Yeah. Shop around for your insurance. Shop around for your KiwiSaver as well. Yeah, you know, you're doing the things, getting a lot of knowledge. Shop around for your investments as well. Okay. Now we're getting into the tip of the day, Uncle. What do you have in store for us today? Yeah, so the tip of the day, and I've used this one myself, is consider a higher excess. Okay. So the excess is the part you pay back to the insurance when you make a claim, just to clarify that.
So now, you want it to be higher?
Yeah, because I know that it's counterintuitive, but what happens is because you pay a higher excess, they lower the premium.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, so I set all ours at like $1,000. You know, like I just bump it up because I haven't, that one time I went to make a claim, I haven't claimed. I have actually done it years ago, but I haven't claimed insurance, and that's why I always say this. So just ask the question. Yeah. Say, what happens if I raise the excess? Yeah. And they'll go, oh yeah, cool. If you go to this, this, and this, and they will give you those levels. Okay. Now, again, think back a few weeks. Got our emergency fund. We've got our money, so you can do this if we set up properly. Okay, so that is one thing that I'd really recommend looking at when you are reviewing your policies. Okay?
Nice. Okay, because when you said higher excess, I was like, are you sure?
Yeah. Well, that's it. How often have you claimed?
No.
So you haven't even paid, and that's...
You haven't paid anything.
You haven't paid an excess, so just have that in the back of your mind when you're having these chats.
Nice, Uncle. Now, our action. So every week we have a tip of the day and a tip of the week, but now we're getting into the action. So something that we have to do, Eti.
Yeah, and I'll just break it down because we've all talked about all these things and looking at her policy, so just pick one policy. Yeah. Okay, pick one policy, anyone that you have, and just check that it matches your life today. Has anything changed? Do you need more cover? Do you need less cover? Yeah. So that could take, 5 minutes. It could be one phone call, right? Yeah. So just pick one policy, find it, review it.
There you have it, Eti. We see there's been a lot of phone calls these Money Mondays. We've been ringing for our KiwiSaver net, ringing our banks, making sure everything lines up, and then... Cutsing. Yep, I don't know what. So we're kind of sending us signals, Etiwano, and I can't quite read the sign language. Here we are. Miharo, massive shout out to cousin Robbie Potini up there in the comments. Yep, she's all about the set and forget 6 years ago when she purchased her ware in regards to insurance. So there you have it. Some homework is simple. Choose one policy, check the numbers, check the excess, and check what's actually covered. And it's something. And if something looks off, make the call, Etiwi. Yeah. Make the call. It's simple as that. Any last kupu for our wano out there on a Monday morning, Uncle?
Just again, it's I say it in terrible probably language to say it's a necessary evil, but it'll save you. At the time of need, when it's a genuine, big issue, big event for you, insurance is there to help you. So just be prepared, I guess, and make sure you're covered for the things that are important.
Yeah. Koe Koera, there we have it, e te wānau. Now, if you're just tuned into us now, i mihi nui ana ki ngā kaimā takitaki no runga mai a Pukamata. Thank you very much for tuning in on our live stream. Those who are on air tuning in, just remember you can watch previous episodes on Spotify. Yes, we're on Flash and on Spotify, on the YouTube, on the Ware Kōrero app, and it just helps us journey into where we are right now. Ka pai? So it's set out, we've looked at the banks, we've looked at our accounts, we've set up buckets, we've had a look at our KiwiSaver, we've also looked at our debt. We'll be coming back very shortly to talk on that. KiwiSaver, investing, and then now insurance. Now, I set a challenge for myself when we talked about debt that I will be cutting up my credit card, and we are still in good stead, e te wānau. I don't need it. One more week. I think I'm about like $250 short. So I've got a week to go, e te wānau. If there's any kind donations out there, no, but we've got it sorted. So that's what's happening next week, e te wānau. Thank you for tuning in. Have a fabulous Monday.